I love National Treasure, starring actor and director Nicolas Cage. But I also love Xbox Game Pass, starring me, John with the controller.
Hey.
Which one do you believe that this video will be about?
Oh, do the Nicolas Cage one. That would be funny.
Are you sure? No! Xbox Game Pass is a wonderful service that comes to the aid of indecisive gamers like myself, allowing us a gigantic library of both indie and AAA games to play from, all for the monthly cost of $9.99. Some of the best games to come out in the past few years are housed on Game Pass: Hollow Knight, Halo, Hades, Death's Door, and of course Farming Simulator 19, because why dream big when you can farm big? Game Pass has been one of the best things to come out of gaming in the past few years, and has single-handedly saved Microsoft's console line. But what if I told you that Game Pass was evil? I would be a liar. I really wanted to be a Game Pass naysayer in this video, as I'm always looking for actual purpose in my videos because they're pointless and I hate them. But I had a whole video planned around telling you why Game Pass was evil and harmful towards indie devs, because I saw that it pushed gamers like me to wait for games to come to Game Pass so that we could get them for free, as I did with Death's Door. And I perceived this as stealing money and potential sales from small development teams. I wanted to believe it so bad that I was digging for information to prove my point, but as I did my research, I know, crazy, I did research, I realized that Game Pass is amazing for game developers. The first thing to look at here is profit. How does Game Pass benefit developers monetarily and monolithically? Because the Xbox looks like a fridge. Well, it isn't a one-size-fits-all with games on Game Pass. If a game is being developed and wants to launch on Game Pass, like the game Moonglow Bay, they can either request a set number from Microsoft and work out the deal that way, or Microsoft can cover all of their expenses and the developer can profit off of retail sales and merchandising. This is a win-win scenario, as Microsoft doesn't have to worry about royalties and the developer doesn't have to worry about losing money in the development process. But what about games like Death's Door that launches separate from Game Pass but then comes to Game Pass later in its life cycle? Doesn't it incentivize people to hope and wait for that game to come to Game Pass and possibly lose the developer out on a sale? This is what I thought, but I am an idiot. And Bill Gates is smart, and he owns Microsoft. But remember, I was doing my research for this video, and I found out that Bill Gates doesn't own Microsoft, it's this guy.
Morning.
And all of this really doesn't matter. I just needed a joke. Microsoft attempts to combat these issues, the ones from like 15 seconds ago, with a unique strategy. First off, most of the games launched onto Game Pass are day one releases, so it's rare to anticipate a game coming months after its release. And secondly, if you do end up waiting and playing it on Game Pass, it isn't guaranteed to stay on Game Pass forever, so you might end up purchasing it like I did with Death's Door. And if you do purchase it, 100% of that money goes to the developer, as Microsoft waives their typical platform fees. The next thing to look at is simple and obvious. How does Game Pass benefit the developer in non-opulent ways? I knew that word because remember, I did my research this time. Well, not every game is meant for retail. They might not look super appealing or have an interesting seeming gameplay. There might be a lot under the surface, but committing to a purchase is tough for consumers, especially when there are so many options, and the developer has no reputation compared to a big studio. Putting a game on Game Pass guarantees that it will get more looks from consumers, as there's no harm in trying it from a player perspective. I can speak to this, as I didn't think much of Sable when watching its trailer, and I would have never paid money for it, but it ended up being on my Game of the Year list because of Game Pass. Game Pass gets the word out better than any E3 ad, and that helps sales aspirations for developers. But the Game Pass system is working really well right now for indie developers and big developers, and it is bolstering development rather than hindering it. So if you haven't, give Game Pass a try. Fill up your console or PC with indies that you wouldn't have tried otherwise. Happy video it is, I guess.